The ownership situation rumbles on and on and on, Miguel, and now we hear in some of the morning papers that the Times is one of them, that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is considering a bid for a 25% minority share.
Yeah, the two Matt Lawton and Dickinson are very strong on this story throughout, and it's, and as they mentioned in the piece itself, it's one that might bring fury from a large core of Manchester United fans, given it inherently means the Glazers would stay. I suppose one of the arguments that's already been being put out is that in the long term, it can mean Ratcliffe takes over the club fully. But for the moment, I suppose what you would say about it, and I'm not talking about this about what's good for the club. I mean, purely in terms of how the situation plays out, it's probably a very clever strategic move from Ratcliffe, especially given all the signs are now that the Glazers right now are not interested in a full sale. And I think it's interesting, that one as well, because it's been one of the concerns throughout this process that, and from what I was told, this was also a feeling within the Ratcliffe camp going back months, that it would be very difficult to find or to get unanimity among the Glazer siblings about a full sale.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think that the idea that you can just talk about the Glazers as one homogenous unit is obviously false and misleading. Do you feel, Charlotte, that we're making any progress? Are we getting any nearer to this being resolved?
Just feels like one of those sagas that's dragging on and on and on. And when you go back 10 months, I think it was ago, when we were talking about Manchester United up for sale, were they actually up for sale, or are the Glazers just testing the market and dipping their toe in the water and seeing how much money they could get? Because we know there was the bidding process, they had the preferred bidders, they were given tours around the stadium, all of that happened, and yet still we're at this point 10 months on where nothing has changed, nothing has moved on. I think Manchester United fans would be disgusted if the Glazers were still there after this whole process as well. They got their hopes up maybe that their tenure was coming to an end. So I think if it was to end in this way, in terms of Ratcliffe was to get a 25% stake and it's still 75% with the Glazers, I think there'd be a lot of resentment and disappointment. I think those protests that we've seen before would continue to happen. But is that a way of Ratcliffe just getting his foot in the door in the hope of one day getting 100%? Possibly, but whatever is going to happen, you'd like to think that it needs to be resolved sooner rather than later, because it just continues to drag on and on and on.